Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Rest in peace to New Chavez, man. I don't know if any of y'all know New Chavez. I don't know if y'all ever watched Samurai Champloo. I think it came on Toonami. But, it's one of those animes that you watch it and you're like, man, there's a lot of black culture in this anime, and I love it. You know what I mean? And, I believe he was one of the recording artists that worked on that show, but unfortunately he passed away many years ago, I think. But man, it's like I feel like he had one of those spirits that I would have loved to meet. The type of person that they wouldn't, what's the word I'm looking for? That they wouldn't, care where you're from. They try to do right by you. They don't have just like pride in their just nation or pride in their religion or whatever. Like, you seem like, I should say they, because I don't really know how they identified, but they seem like someone who I'd really vibe with, especially just by the music they made. Usually someone who enjoys that kind of music or vibes with that kind of music is usually someone I rock with. There's actually someone that reminds me of New Chavez in my day-to-day life. And, they're a really cool person as well. So, it would have been lovely to meet them, is all I'm saying. But today, we're going to talk about, something that happens to everybody, and this won't be the last time I talk about this. But we're going to talk about when you get into a bit of a rut, and you have things to do, but either your mind is just running at 1,000 miles an hour because you're worried about something, or maybe you naturally suffer from anxiety, or, maybe, I don't even know, maybe you just have, ADHD or dyslexia, or just something that's stopping you from being progressive. Maybe you've had too much bad news recently. Maybe you've been too stressed in your degree or your job, or both. But regardless, it happens to everybody, and you can't stop it, and it won't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. But we try our best, we try to make moves and get through the struggle, and I think it's important for you to know that, we're here with you. There's a community out there trying to get by just like you, trying not to mess with people just like you, trying to just live their day-to-day lives, not trying to hurt nobody. And sometimes it feels like you're the only one who's trying to live that way. Sometimes it genuinely feels like you're the only person trying not to ruin other people's day. But I guarantee you, you're not. I guarantee you that the rest of us are out here, that we're just trying to live our lives. And look, it can be stressful when we haven't all come together and met. But I guarantee you we're out here. While everyone else is trying to get rich and, play people and, find success the easy way. We're out here just trying to live our life and do what was put in our hearts to do, whether it was by the universe, or you could call it God, or whatever whatever doesn't upset your sensibilities. Whatever life put in your heart, you're just trying to do that. And you're trying not to mess with people along the way. And I love you for that. You are one of few. It seems, anyway. Because if there were more of us, you'd think they'd be more vocal. But the loudest ones seem to be the cruelest ones. That's why we gotta make our voices heard. We gotta respect people. We gotta respect each other. You gotta make that show you wanna make. You wanna quit that job and start that business. You gotta take risks, because all these cruel people, they've had this stuff given to them from their cruel ancestors, And you gotta be willing to fight to get what's yours. And you don't have to fight their way. You don't have to be cruel like they are. But you can try. You can try and trust in the universe. It put it in your heart for a reason. So clearly it wants you to win. But one step at a time, I say. It's sometimes hard enough just to imagine the future you want, just to imagine overcoming the hurdles. So let's spend today just visualizing and defeating our own imagination, all right? First things first, we always need some type of plan. To plan things out, you gotta have vision. So, first things first, what do you want to do? What do you even want to get done today? Don't think about tomorrow or the next 5 months, 10 years. Don't think about it. What do you have to get done today or tonight even? You gotta have some immediate obligation. Now, you gotta make your little plan. You gotta either open up notes on your phone, or you gotta get a whiteboard, or, pen and paper, and just write. Just like, hey, what do I gotta get done? Write the biggest things you gotta get done. That takes a lot of energy sometimes. Especially if you're someone who has like low levels of dopamine and serotonin, you're clinically depressed or have ADHD. It's like sometimes just writing down what you need to get done is the hardest thing you can do. Like, don't take that for granted. Don't think, oh, you're just some weak person, because you do so many things better than most of the population. But this is just your disability, and you need to work with it. You wouldn't ask someone with one leg to run a race with people with both legs and like amazing shoes and amazing training when someone has only one leg and the other leg has terrible shoes and the prosthetic leg doesn't even have good quality prosthesis, and like they have only been training in their garage. Like, I believe that person could beat all those other people, but to ask them to have to race in that situation and not give them any options, that is unfair. So if you want to put yourself in a situation where you're trying to prove something and be like, oh, I don't need more help than, a neurotypical person or someone who's not depressed, that's on you. You can do that. If that's what you need, then do that. But I'm talking to everyone else who is afraid to ask for help and who knows that, well, they might not even know that they have a disability. They might just think, oh, they just feel lazy, or they just feel like they're not working hard enough. That's a lie. You are working very hard, but you're undiagnosed for so many things. And you just feel like you just don't care, but you do, because clearly you're worried about it. Just the fact that you're worried about it and you wish you could do something and you physically can't, that shows me that you do want to be able to move, but you just can't. And I'm giving you permission to have, pity on yourself. Nothing is wrong with that. Just because you don't have a diagnosis or some doctor's letter to tell you something's wrong doesn't mean something ain't wrong. Doesn't mean, you have a physical issue or a chemical issue. It doesn't mean that you don't have these things, And even if you didn't have any issue, even if this was just a motivation issue, just for the sake of like, just your mind saying, I don't really feel motivated, that's okay. Like you have the right to not have motivation today. You know what I mean? Not everyone has this amazing life that they wake up to with all their bills paid and no, worries about their family's health and all these things. Not everyone has these picture perfect lives that all these, 1%ers want to talk about. Even like the larger percent of the population, like the middle class and all that, like they can't imagine a lot of our lives. And I want you to be certain that you don't owe them an explanation as to why you feel terrible, because they will never be able to relate, mainly because they don't care, and they'll just still blame you, knowing damn well they're living a better life than you because they were just born into a richer family, or because they were able to cheat their way to the top. They will not care about what you have to go through, and they will still talk down to you as if they worked harder than you when they know damn well they didn't. So you don't owe anyone an apology for needing help or needing to take a break or needing to figure out your own way. Alright? Following some cookie cutter examples set by bigots or set by, people who made these countries so that only a few people could be successful and the rest will, be living paycheck by paycheck. Their way of doing things is not something to aspire to. You need to be different. You need to change this world. Whatever idea you have, As much as people around you are saying, oh, that's ridiculous, that can never be implemented, you better start implementing it, because someone else is going to take the idea and try to monetize it and try to corrupt it. So you need to put your name on it, and you need to get it done. You need to cast your lot in with your dreams, because if you don't get it, it's fine. Go back to what you're doing. But at least try. At least give it a shot. But if you're not fully invested in that thing that you actually care about, then of course you're not, like, the motivation will it feels like it'll never show up. If you're someone like me, living in this world is a chore. It doesn't feel like a privilege, because all the other people in the world love how cruel it is, love how evil it is, love how violent it is. And it feels like you're just kind of living in a world that you don't belong in. Growing up, I was like, surely other people would want people to be happy too. Surely other people would want people to be blessed. But then the older I get, even still in childhood, it's like people didn't like when other people were happy. They had to be happier than the other person. And, like, it just didn't make sense to me. I understand, like, sometimes competition can be fun, but this wasn't competition. This was just people really just hated to see other people happy, and they loved when they were above other people. That's something broken within us. That's a problem that we will never fix in my lifetime. Like, this will take hundreds of years, if not thousands, and we haven't even started yet, because too many people are trying to fit into this broken category made by broken people in a broken system. So I'm telling you, don't be afraid to try and change the system. Yeah, you may be one person, and I may be one person, and we may not live near each other, or we may be down the street from each other. But the more we do it, the more we plant these seeds of change. Someone else is going to do it, because we exist. We've already started the ball just by talking about it. So don't think it'll ever be wasted effort. Don't think, oh, why should I help this poor person? No one helps poor people. No, I help poor people. So now that's two of us, and I'm sure there's a third. So don't let people talk you out of doing good things or fulfilling your dream, because that's how they win. They get into your mind and convince you of a reality that doesn't exist. It's just something they believe. Good people who want to do good, I should say, exist. You exist. So whatever dream you have in your heart that people have convinced you can't get, and now you're in a rut, now you don't want to do your day-to-day job or your day-to-day activities because you feel like, what's the point of being in this world if you can't live your dream? But I'm giving you permission to chase your dream. Because once you start chasing that, I'm not saying the motivation will just, like, show up, but at least, like, the suffering that you're going through this cruel world, it will feel kind of worth it. Because now you're suffering for the dream, and not just because the world is telling you you should feel grateful to exist. Because if you don't even really want to be here, you might as well chase your dream. If you're gonna suffer and, be stressed about bills, you might as well be chasing your dream. Your friends will tell you, oh, you need to get into a relationship and get married and this, that, and the other. And damn well that won't make you happy. It'll just make you stressed. So chase what's in your heart to chase. Be responsible. Do your due diligence. And if you fail, you better be willing to try again. You better be willing to try for at least a decade. A decade is the bare minimum. And I don't care how old or how young you are. The excuses. You can hate me all you want. But after those 10 years are done, if you have gotten no further, something's wrong with you. If you didn't get a degree or an apprenticeship, if you went nowhere further to your dream in 10 years, something is wrong with you. You can't blame me. But if you're not willing to even take one step forward, then don't bother. Don't bother. And if you are comfortable, stay where you are. I'm not forcing anyone to live the dream, because the world will change without you. But for those of us who want to change, I'm trying to let you know right now, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve that dream in your heart and that manager at McDonald's that likes to fuck with you. You can't. I'm not saying just quit your job willy-nilly and just, be broke. But I'm saying write it down. Write the steps down. Google things. Go to classes. Go to talks. Look up people on YouTube who have done the math for you. These answers are there. You know what I mean? Whether it's trying to get into like some university or trying to become a lawyer, go to med school or become an inventor, do some background in science, work on cancer research. There are so many ways you can do this. But you've convinced lower inspiration people and average people who love this toxic world, who somehow they think they benefit from the world being terrible, and they want it to stay the same. You're listening to people like that, and they are worthless. They have given up on, the thing that would have made them human. The dream that they should have had in their heart, that would have helped the world and helped other people. They gave up on that and said, yay, I love this terrible world. I'm going to try and get what I can and get mine and cheat and steal. Don't listen to those people. I mean, sure, look at how they're moving and try and outplay them when they try to play you. But don't be like them. Don't say, oh yeah, I'm just going to do what they're doing and then expect to be happy, because you won't. If you're anything like me, you won't. Because that's just prolonging time in this place, and now you're steeping yourself into, the company of people who make this place so terrible, so you're going to feel even worse. Free yourself from the shackles of this cruel world. I guarantee you'll feel better for it. Don't chase what other people expect you to chase. Just because your friends are telling you to chase a relationship don't mean you gotta chase one. If you want to be a bodybuilder, go be a bodybuilder. Your friends will be like, oh, well, I don't like bodybuilders and You didn't ask them. So why are they telling you anything? They don't even have the discipline to do one push-up, and yet they're telling you about something you feel like you were made to do, breaking deadlift records or whatever. You know what I mean? You feel like you might have to join the military because you want to do some change in the military. You want to fix something. You want to change some type of structural issue. But your friends who've never even, gone to the gym trying to tell you about the military? Look, man. Or whoever, I say man, that's a gender neutral term for me, but I apologize if it's offending anyone. But, yeah. Don't let people who couldn't even handle your easy mode, what you consider easy, don't let those people dictate what you do in your future. Don't let them tell you that you can't handle hard mode if they can't even handle your easy mode. Easy mode for you is like nightmare mode for them. So many people who discouraged me so many years ago, they couldn't even have taken the first 10% of the journey that I've been on this whole time. That would have been the most difficult thing in their entire life. Still to this day, that would have been the most difficult thing in their entire life. They would have never taken the step, and they're convincing other people and their kids to not even try to this day. And then people will look up to them and say, oh, well, this person's like a teacher or a counselor, so they should know what they're saying. But I've dwarfed them academically. And they're still telling people that they can't be me. That's ridiculous. I'm at the top, and I'm telling these same people you can, but because this counselor is closer to them, or this teacher or this waste man is closer to them, they'll believe that person. Because that person, might be, what the society says looks like a professional person. They might be like, white or well-dressed or something. And me, I'm black, and, I have, dreadlocks. So, people might look at me and say, oh, well, I can't know what I'm talking about. I could show them all my IDs, all my degrees, all this stuff. And they'll believe the white person who works at Wendy's before they believe me. I could literally be teaching students in lecture theaters or hospitals, helping patients. And yet they will not believe me, the person with the qualifications. They'll believe, Susie from Starbucks, who never, doesn't bother to do any kind of studying, or doesn't read any book, doesn't even listen to podcasts, doesn't take in any new information. The most they do is watch Love Island. That is the most information they take in. And they are so happy in this world. They love how toxic it is. Whenever their friends tell them bad news, they love it. They love that their friends have bad news and not good news. They love talking shit about their friends that they've known for the past 30 years. Supposed to be their best friends, and they love shitting on them. But these people will take advice from Susie before they take advice from me, a person who has spent time gathering the resources to help these same people. And I'm not saying I'm the only one or I'm the best resource for every single thing you want to do in life. But like, if I'm motivating you, like, at least feel like, damn, like, this person went through all that. They gathered all this knowledge, all this, all these credentials, and they're telling me I can do it. Damn, I should feel like I can do it. And I'm telling you, you can do it. So why the fuck don't you believe me? Why do you believe your bum-ass friends who you grew up with, who you know ain't shit? It doesn't make sense. Whatever you think you're incapable of, I was less capable wherever you are today. I was less capable, guaranteed. Every lecturer, every person I've ever seen, they told me, oh, I won't be able to do it because of my circumstances or because, I'm just not smart enough. They would never test to see if I had a learning difference or anything. They just told me I'm not smart enough. And I internalized that. I believed it. It became reality. I literally could not figure things out, and no one would teach me or no one would tell me why or no one would test me for anything. They were just like, nope, you're just not smart. And that became who I was. And after the blessing of being able to break out of that and having a mother who would push me ridiculously because she believed in something that was put in her heart, and I got pushed far beyond what I was comfortable doing. I did not want to go to university. I just wanted to give up and die. And then I got pushed to a point where I've gotten so far that I couldn't even recognize the boy who started this. Even after I internalized the quote-unquote fact that I'm just not smart. And then I get to the highest degree I've ever gotten to, and I finally am able to get an assessment. Turns out I have dyslexia. Turns out I have ADHD. Turns out I have autism. Turns out I have all these things that if I had known that when I was a kid, they would have given me so much support. And it turns out all these people who are here that they would have believed in, they also had these things, but to a lesser degree than I did. But they've always had the support. That's why they got to where I'm at today. And I had none of the support. And I'm here, despite what everyone said. So what I'm trying to tell you is maybe you're not just quote-unquote dumb. Make sure first that you're not surrounded by assholes who aren't trying to help you, who aren't trying to tell you, hey, you should probably get this checked and, maybe you can do this or that. Don't let people convince you that you're just incapable, as if you're the one human on the planet who just can't learn math. You got to learn it your way. You got to figure things out. You got to figure out why it's hard for you. Build up the foundations. It's not just impossible. If it was just impossible, you wouldn't be able to dress yourself in the morning. So, you can figure it out. You can grow. I'm giving you permission. Anyone who tells you can't, I'm more qualified than them. You see what I'm saying? And if you argue with me with that oh, your friends somehow know you better, then maybe you are truly stupid. If you actually think any of your friends are qualified to tell you that you can make it when I'm telling you you can, maybe then you really are stupid. So really, when you want to start planning out your vision, I'm sure you know what yours is already. I'm sure you probably started writing, the next objectives you have to do. Because, if you're listening to something like this, surely you've already made some moves. But if not, I'm just going to remind you what the steps are. Step 1, try and flesh out what your actual vision is. What do you want to do in your heart? What is it? What is it? Figure it out. All right, let me help you out. So close your eyes, right? I'm serious. All right, cool. So I want you to imagine someone the most impressive person to exist. This person can do any single thing they want to do. No one can touch them. No one can touch them in skill, knowledge, natural ability, blessings and luck and all type of stuff. They can just, and they don't feel anxious doing anything. They are completely powerful. And that person, if they decide, I want to be an astronaut tomorrow, they are overqualified, even if they've never been an astronaut before. So this type of person that, you are all probably imagining is who you're going up against when it comes to your dream. You're imagining this unbeatable hero character. Now, I want you to imagine imagine that unbeatable hero character having anything that you would want to do. If you could do anything, if you could put your consciousness or your will into that person for them to go out and do it for you, what would you have them do? If you could go into their body, if you could say, right, now I have no anxiety. I am the most impressive person in the world. I can do anything. I am the one. What would you do if you knew you had no limit and no fear? And be honest with yourself. Don't let, the thoughts of, but I'm this way. No, you are now this impressive person. It's like Avatar. You've gone into their body. What would you do? And whatever the answer is, chances are that's probably your dream, or at least one of them. Now I want you to realize that's the start of your vision. Because most people who are in that position that you want to be in aren't even nearly as confident as the person you just imagined. They are nowhere near that confident. They could never be. But you can be now, because you imagined it. You dared to imagine you were that in the body of that ultimately impressive person. Now you're further than people who are already living the dream you want. Chances are they were put into that position through nepotism, through circumstance. But now you've birthed this idea of a person inside of you that they would look up to. That they wouldn't even want to wash, that person's feet. They'd feel too, lowly to even look that person in the eye. And now you can be that person. You dared to dream about it. So now that you have the vision, now put pen to paper. How are you going to get there? What's the first thing you have to do? What do you have to set up? What classes do you have to take? What podcasts do you have to listen to? What motivational videos do you need to save on your playlists so that you can hear it every morning to give you some serotonin to get you out of bed? What exercises do you have to do daily to get some sunshine on your face to build up your dopamine so that you have a regular sleep cycle? What books do you have to read about the topic you're on? If you read one book a month for an entire year, you will be among the top few experts in the world in a short period of time. So what books do you got to read? Do you got to listen to audiobooks because you have dyslexia, or you don't know if you have it, but you just find reading difficult? Hey, audiobooks. You know what I mean? There are streaming services that have people reading the books out. I'm going to start reading some stuff out too. Maybe not specifically stuff to help you in what you're doing, but all this stuff is accessible. So what do you have to do? What's the first thing you have to do? Today, let's focus on today. What's the first thing you need to do today? Who do you have to book an appointment with? What video do you have to watch? Just write it down. And then after you do that, break it down into sub-goals, you know what I mean? Try to make it as digestible as possible. And then once you do that, boom, all right, now move on to the next thing. Maybe have another piece of paper of your main objectives that you have to get done for this dream. And then on your initial sheet of paper, have the everyday things you have to do, for the rest of the week or the rest of the month. But then on another paper, have your main goals you have to hit, and put a deadline on that. Put a realistic deadline on that to kick yourself in the butt to make these moves. And just by doing this, you are ahead of the people who were placed in front of you. Just by doing this, you're a better candidate than the hundreds that are placed in front of you. I'm telling you, it's that simple. Most humans are terrified to step out of the path they were put in. Those people seem impressive, but that's because that's the path they were put in. And when they get, in a position where that quote unquote impressiveness is threatened, and they get threatened to be taken off that path, they get all types of depressed, all types of hopeless, because that was their ego, that was their personality. It was based on the fact that they were put into that path. They might not even want to do what you want to do, but they were just put in that way by their parents. It's crazy how, and it works the other way too. This is why you need to upgrade the people around you. You can't have the same friends from high school. If you were both broke and your friend wants to stay broke, you can't keep that friend if they don't want you to grow. Or if they want you to just do for them. You can't. If they're not leveling up, if they're not reading, if they're not doing what you're doing, they are a weight to you. Or they're going to be jealous of you and they won't be able to help that. It's a human reaction to feel like, man, I'm not doing good because my friend is doing so much better than me. It's not something they can control. And I doubt they have the wisdom to even try to control that. So you need to watch who you're around where you're trying to make these big decisions in your life. They will not like you. And it won't be their fault. But sometimes they want to be petty. Don't assume that your friends are honorable, or just because you've known them for years, they won't screw you over. Don't assume that. People are fallible. You're fallible. And you're doing so much more than the people around you. So if you're fallible, imagine them. Don't tell everyone everything you're doing. Write it down. Write your objectives down. Hold that vision in your mind every day. Every day before you go to bed, after you pray or whatever, have that vision in your head. And if you do pray on that. Add God into your life. And this is for people who, believe in the same faith I believe in. Pray into your life. If you don't pray to anything, but you believe in the will of life or the will of the universe, let that be actively a part of your vision. Include the universe. Don't just think you're this atom just moving through space. You are a part of life's will. Add that to your motivation so that you can do what life wants you to do. That's why I put it in your heart. You and life are one thing. Don't get it twisted. You are not a wasted human. You are not a wasted animal. You're here for a reason. If life didn't want you here, you simply wouldn't be here. It's that simple. None of this is just random. Everything you're seeing, everything you've been taught to see in life, with the world you have in your mind, doesn't matter, and it doesn't exist. You can't actually see the world because of how you've been conditioned. So in your mind, you don't see anything that matters or exists. When you look in the mirror, you don't matter. You don't exist. But I'm challenging that reality within you. And I know it's not easy. But you deserve to be free from the trap that you were put in during your development. Please free yourself from that bondage. Write down what you have to do. Hold your vision. Pray. Include the universe. Include life in your decisions. You are worthy of doing what life has assigned for you. You can handle that. You are worthy to stand up against this corrupted world and change it. Because life put that in your heart. It's your goal. It's your responsibility. It's what you want to do. You don't have to tolerate working a 9-to-5 that you hate. Because you know you're more important than that. That's why your heart burns every morning you think about waking up and going to this shitty job. You know you weren't meant to be doing that. Even if you're just meant to be a shoemaker and make people smile, if you know in your heart you're meant to be the best shoemaker, why the hell are you still doing something you hate? Go out and become a cobbler, become a shoemaker, become what you need to do. It's very possible. So now we've got it all sorted out. The beginning bits, anyway. So now you've... Sorry about that. So now you've envisioned your dream. Good job. Really, I'm really proud of you, because most of these humans don't do that. So I'm glad you've decided to go further. I'm glad you decided to take a step. I don't know why we find that so difficult, but I'm glad to have you join the group of people who go against the grain. You know, all the other people who are going to be there in the future in your success, they were always put in that position, but you're going to step out and prove that it can be done. You're going to step out of the path you were put on. I am very proud of you. I really am. I look forward to seeing more of you, and more of you, and more of you, and seeing how you're all going to change the world. Because you will. Every person that chases their dream, as long as it's good for the world and good for people and, you know, treats people well, as long as they keep chasing that dream, you know, you're going to start doing good for people just because it's good to do that. And you're going to stop thinking everything needs a price tag on it. You're going to have more value to life and existence than this fictitious economy that doesn't really exist. These people put their faith in money, but that makes them much less human than you. You put your faith in your dream, the thing that will fulfill you as a person. You want to help people. You want to bring something to this life that isn't there yet, and that makes you special. That makes you worthy of love. And I'm glad that you finally decided to see it. So, now that you've decided to go for it, you have to start to clear your mind. Clear your beliefs that were put into your head from when you were young. You can't excel to the next level believing that you're weaker or stupider or just not worthy or that it's just a fluke. You won't get far with that mindset. You need to strip it off and drop the weight. And you need to take in a new mindset, a positive one, an unapologetically positive one. Because, yes, you can try to chase your dream with pessimism. And, you know, statistically, eventually you'll get to it. You know, even with pessimism, you will eventually get it. But you will get it much more efficiently, much quicker, and much happier if you were unapologetically optimistic, no matter what happened to you. Because you put yourself in positions where luck can be a thing. And people will, you know, not see all the effort you put in and all the times you struggled, and they will just say you're lucky. But they won't see all the times you've shown up to the arena to fight. Because you believed you'd win. So remove all doubt as quick as you can. I know it's easier said than done. I got to my dream and I'm still doubting. I know it's not easy. But if you start early, you may be able to beat me in that regard. You may be able to be so optimistic that you get thousands of times farther than me. And I can't wait to see it. because that means you'll make life more proud. That means you'll be able to help so much more people than I will. So yes, be unapologetically optimistic. It's a very attractive feature. It's attractive in so many ways. Like, it'll attract your dream to you quicker. It'll, if you're dating, it'll attract people to you. If you're just trying to start a business, it'll attract, good employees to you. Just that optimism. And yes, you still have to factor in things. That's why we write things down. You still have to have a plan. You still have to be ready for things. But if things go wrong, things go wrong. That's life. But things also go right. So focus on that. Focus on the positive. And while you're doing this and while you're changing the world little by little, you're planting seeds of Eden everywhere. You're putting dish soap into the oily muck that is this earth, and you're making the oil separate and disperse, and you're making more happy people and good people and kind people. Each time you do something that's just good for the sake of doing good, you never know who's watching. They might say, man, I didn't know people like that existed. And now they're going to go and do it. And now we just keep multiplying. Trust me, it's a worthy cause, even though I know it's terrifying. As someone who did it without any roadmap, without any vote of confidence from any of my staff members or mentors or advisors, I guarantee you can do it. If you have even one more thing than I had, you can do it. You have to just get started. And you have to, like I said, the bare minimum is being willing to give 10 years to it. It's a dream. It's not something you're kind of just thinking about trying it for a weekend. It's your dream. Can you give a decade to your dream at least? I was prepared to give the rest of my life chasing it. Are you prepared to give a decade? I know it's not easy, but your dream is worth it. Your dream isn't an easy dream. It scares you, right? Makes you terrified. So if you can't even give 10 years to it, and chances are it won't even take you that long. Not every dream is as long-winded as mine is. But if you can't even be willing to give 10 years, can you even call it a dream? Is that even a journey? So let's say your dream takes you 6 months to accomplish. Great, I'm happy for you. But if you can't do anything for the rest of those 9 years and 6 months, then are you even doing anything of your dream? Well, you're just gonna get the thing and then not do anything with it? Not do anything of this new blade of wisdom and knowledge you've achieved? That was your dream, just to get a degree? That was it? You need to look, but all I'm saying is be willing to keep adding to your dream. So maybe not right now. If your dream literally is just to get a degree because of personal reasons, great. I'm not putting that down. But after you achieve this dream, and I know it feels like it's far away, remember to do something with it. Remember, life wants to put you in a position where you can better the world. Even if it's just in little ways, it doesn't have to be disrupting economies or anything. But me personally, I'm trying to build up all the places that, were conquered and abused. I'm trying to build up Africa. I'm trying to build up the Caribbean. I'm trying to give Aboriginal people, their homes. I'm trying to give the Native Americans their homes. We need to give land back. This world is upside down right now. It's not okay. And we're seeing the effects of it every day for hundreds of years, thousands of years. This is not an okay world to live in. Not for the majority of humans. And the small percent of people who are enjoying abusing this world and its people, as much as, yes, they're putting everything in their favor, it's not even good for them. But they can't see that. They're blinded by greed. So, if you're willing to chase your dream, Please be willing to do good with it. Be willing to influence the world in a positive way. We have enough assholes. The world's too full of shit. We need people to clean it up. So if you're just doing this dream because you're just like, I can't think of anything else. I mean, again, do you. I can't hate on that. Not like I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I just knew I wanted to do something. And the dream developed later. But if you just picked something because it was a backup and you didn't really care, and you just kind of want to make money or get a trust fund from your family, or, then maybe this ain't the right show for you. I don't deal in materialistic things. I don't deal in just trying to be rich for the sake of riches. My riches aren't based on that. My riches is, giving to life, everlasting. As Bob Marley said, my riches is life everlasting. But I say, my riches belong to life. My riches belong to Yeshua. My riches belong to the world that they made, to help people, to help animals, to help the planet. My riches can be dispersed throughout the universe and anything beyond that. That is what my riches are. So if you align with that, always be checking your purpose. Always be checking that your purpose is in line with that burning fire in your heart. And if you ever feel like, look, you can't do it anymore, I won't blame you, as long as you try genuinely. Because chasing our dreams, I'm not gonna lie, it's been hell. It would have been a worse hell if I wasn't chasing it. But the amount of oppression you face, especially if you aren't, of a certain skin color or a certain gender or a certain sexuality, if you chase your dream without those advantages, it's such a hell. But if you're willing to go through that hell, you are more of a human than the closest 1,000 people around you. You are what this planet wants. If you're willing to go through a hell like that, just to make this planet better, just to give something back to life, then you are worthy of this life more than anyone else around you. Because you want to help them. You want to help everyone. You want to build this place back up and make it what it should have been, a paradise. That doesn't mean go out and abuse people because you think you're better than them. No, that goes against it, actually. It's the love that proves you're a human. Doesn't mean let people abuse you now. Defend yourself. But while you're chasing your dream, always chase it for the right reasons. And I know one day you'll get there. And I'll be waiting. Ready to build up the lost places. Ready to give back the land. Ready to rebuild for those who were kidnapped and lost. That's ultimately what I believe our dreams are for. Helping the people who are lost. Helping the animals that are lost. Helping the planet that's abandoned. And helping one day, maybe, all of life throughout the universe. And beyond that. So don't give up, don't give in. Your dream is worth it. Your dream is universal. You may not see it, it may not make sense. You may think, how can this little thing I want to do impact everything? Trust me, it does. As long as it's good in nature and not hurting anyone and meant to help, meant to be kind, meant to spread joy and love, it will help us. And I'm grateful for your starting it. And if no one else tells you they believe in you, I am telling you that I believe in you. And I'm the best recommendation you could have. I'm more qualified than your closest friends. So if you can't trust that, then you never believed in your dream in the first place. You can do it, my friend. So that's the end of this show. Thank you all for listening. I hope that I've been able to inspire you even a little bit, to believe in yourself, to see your value in this life. I hope that you've learned that you can step out of the path you were put into. You can do more. You can do something different. You don't have to follow what these people have told you have to follow. You can be inspired by your heart. What has it told you to do? As long as it is good and will help people, then yes, you should do it. As long as it will help the planet, the animals, then you should do it. As long as it might even just help one child, then yes, you should do it. I want you to know that I support you chasing your dream fully. And though it may be incredibly difficult, it might not be. It may be so surprisingly easy that you'll be surprised more people don't do it. Just because my dream took me the long way around doesn't mean everyone's will. But that just means that even if it does, if a fool like me could be used as an example to shame the wise, then how much more chances does someone like you have? You're so much better than I was when I started. So you'll get so much further. I'm sending nothing but love and positivity towards you in your pursuit of your dream. Don't let anyone try and snuff out that light within you. It wasn't meant to be snuffed out. It was meant to burn bright. To the point where you intimidate those around you. It's so bright. To the point where people are surprised that you are the same person that they knew before. It'll be so bright that it'll blind them. And you deserve to be bright and shine bright and change the world. Not just for money and not just for greed, not just for lust, not just for power. But people like you who want to do it because life put it in your heart to do something good. You're the people we need. And I'm glad that I was able to have this talk with you. So, believe in yourself. I believe in you. I believe in you 110%. And I don't doubt that you'll make it. You don't need a backup plan. You're going to make it. You don't need to justify it to anyone. You're going to make it. You don't need to try and appear rational to people. Stay irrational, because you're still going to make it. And you can keep pursuing it even if you fail. And the more you pursue it, statistically, the more likely you will get it. Statistically, you can only not get it a certain amount of times. So if everything's in your favor, if life wants you to do it, if I'm telling you you can do it, and I'm more qualified than everyone around you, then why don't you do it? I'll see you at the top, my friend, so that we can help those at the bottom. Because we're here for a purpose. We're not here for greed. And to end on a more positive note, if you enjoy listening to my lovely voice, well, I've heard it's lovely, maybe people are just being nice, then maybe you'd like to follow me on YouTube. I just post funniest stuff over there, same name, Just the Dreaded Menace. Follow my link tree on my YouTube, my TikTok, all the same name. Backup channel on YouTube, Just the Dreaded Fallback. I'm on Fanbase. I'm on, what else am I on? I'm pretty sure I'm on Reddit. Don't really use it. I don't have a Discord for this account, but who knows? But yeah, I'm around. So all the major stuff I should be on. I don't have a console, so I can't really game with anyone, but one day, maybe. And I'm going to be releasing some tier list videos. May also just make it into a podcast as well, if the audio is pretty much all I really need. You don't have to actually see the tier list, but we'll see. I'm still, shaking the dust off this whole influencer thing. But even if no one listens to me, this is something that I believe is good to get out into the world. Just this will to help people is enough, I think. So even if you're only one person hearing this, you've done more than I could have ever imagined with my will. You've heard this, and now you've been given permission to be great. So what will you do with that, huh? Let me know. Feel free to send in any questions. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Fanbase, follow me on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. That's another one, yeah. Follow me on Twitter. Knew I was forgetting something. And you all have a lovely night or day, lunchtime, wherever you are. Stay blessed. Much love. Respect people. Respect your family. Don't take abuse. And be kind unexpectedly today. Plant some seeds of Eden. Be just. Be good. Be loving. Just because you can. There are enough people who are cruel just because they can be. Let's be a group of people that are just overtly giving and nice just because we can. Just to piss the cruel people off. They'll be like, why would you do that? Because I could. It's so fun watching them get mad. Why would you give to a homeless person? They're probably just going to get drugs. Who knows? Because I can. I wanted to give them money. I wanted to buy them a sandwich. I wanted to give them food. Why not? Oh, such a waste of money. I love making greedy people upset. But yes, you sleep well. Much love to you. Good night. Good day. Goodbye, my friend.